Howdy, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Dirt Info Podcast. As always, if you could just go ahead and hit the like right down there, that'd be greatly appreciated. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into our first segment. And
It's called Stylin and Profile.
thanks, Rick. Carter, I see you grabbing a shirt, so we'll have you take it first.
Sweatshirt.
Oh, sorry.
This is the Harvest Hustle shirt from Sweatshirt. Now I'm saying it from Marshalltown last year, and it's significant because obviously this race is happening this weekend. So we'll talk
Yeah.
about that a bit more later. But I like this one because I have every class on it. It's not just like a mod
Oh,
and a
yeah.
stock car. Even the mod light and it's on there. Although is the Hornet on here? Sport compacts? Sure is. Even got the sport compacts.
Yeah. Kind of looks like ours will look if we ever get around to that, right? Well, we'll have four, but I think a lot of them are on there. Right on, right on. Well, mine is the Superior Showcase shirt from the XR event at Gondik Law. I think 3 years ago, maybe four. I can't recall. But I just remember JD and Chris Madden and like Tyler Erb and all the hitters were there. That's pretty rare to see them way up there. So
That is
I
way
had to
up
get
there
a shirt.
for
Yep,
them.
yep, yep. I think Hunt the Front was there too, actually, which is
He did go there, so that's probably
yeah,
when it was.
yeah. It was the year that Joyner was there. So that's hella far for them. So you gotta like go check that out. Um, so that was a pretty cool event. But we've talked about Gondik a bunch, so it's definitely a track I enjoy quite a bit. But anyway, with that, let's go ahead and jump into the what we did. And this is actually like going to be kind of fun because we were at the same place and our perspectives are just totally different. So we were both at the Topless Nationals. You were there for 2 days. I was just there on Saturday. But last week we talked about it a little bit, and you had mentioned all the things you were super excited to see, or super excited to see, and then you got your assignment. So give me some impressions of the event from where you were sitting, and then I'll jump in with my impressions too.
Yeah, so I was on GoPro duty. So GoPro duty means you basically hang out in the pit area the whole time and you see no racing at all. Um, Friday night, so I ended up seeing more racing than I thought. So Friday night we were
Oh,
there, or I was there, and I did, I think, super stock heats and like halfway through street stock heats, and then Cole, our infield camera guy, unfortunately got hit by a race car. He is okay. Get well soon, Cole. But he somehow has like no injuries at all, like just sore pretty much. So that's awesome to hear. But since Cole got taken out by a race car, they did not send me in the infield to replace him. But
phew.
John, the main camera guy, went to the hospital to be with Cole. So then I went and did main camera. Um, and that was, I like main camera, but I'm so used to my stuff. And then I had to use John's stuff. And John has the handle on the left side. I have it on the right. So I had to switch that. Then the zoom button got stuck for the first street stock heat. That I did. So if you were watching that and you're wondering why this guy's not zooming in, I could not for one heat race. So that was a bit of an issue. It was like all like we were kind of on the fly there with obviously everything
Yeah.
that happened. But then so the rest of the night pretty much I was just on main camera doing heat races. And then my headphone cord kept getting stuck because he stands to the right of the more so right, and I stand to the left, so I didn't have enough slack on the headphone cord. It was a whole mess.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
when obviously things like that happen, you kind of have to
yeah.
adjust, and we made it work and all that. But then Saturday was more normal for me. Oh, first thing too, I want to say the wall was not as pink as I thought it was going to be. I was told by John that it's actually more pink usually, but like it was not that. It's like more. It would seem more like it had a tint of
It's
white to it.
pasteller. It was
Yeah,
pasteller, more pastel than normal. I was Now that you say that, I also thought it was a little lighter pink. I also feel like it's been getting progressively lighter. Now that you mention it, I feel like each year, but yeah, it was still pink though. But yeah, it
yeah.
has
It
been
was
it
just
has
like
been more pink in years
in a
past.
picture like of just the track. Like you don't like look at it and be like, oh wow, the wall's pink. You have to really look at it to like notice it. I feel like where in the past you see a picture and like, holy crap, the wall is pink. Um,
Yeah,
But yeah, so that was a letdown, but there was still some pink. It's not like they didn't try to make it pink. It was just not
Yeah.
as pink as I was hoping. But then Saturday, when me and you were both there, I was on GoPro duty the whole day, and I don't know if you want to cut in and talk about your
Yeah,
Saturday as
yeah, a
well.
little bit. There's a good time to interject because I thought it was a little BS, but I wasn't gonna say anything. But I thought it was a little BS that I was like, "You're like, are you here in the pits?" I'm like, "Yeah," and you're like, "Oh, well, let me know when you get back to the stands." I'm like, "What? We were supposed to we were talking about a pit walk, Carter. What the hell?" But I didn't let it ruin. But it gained more context as the night went on, and I think everyone else will get it too. But but so yeah, I showed up and you and I communicated, and you didn't join me on the pit walk. So I walked the whole pit area looking for people. I was supposed to find one gentleman, Connor Fall, if he's watching. He probably more of
Oh,
a TikTok
I don't know
follower.
him, but I know who that is.
Yeah.
It's
Uh,
'03 Midwest mod.
yeah, it's super easy to find, right? I totally missed him in the pits, and I like was making a point to find him. So I felt bad about that. He had asked for some stickers, and I was going to give him a whole fistful. Um, compounded by the fact that my fool had forgot my stickers at home, so I'd have been SOL anyway. But I did wanted to make it a point. Anyway,
I had
mo-
some in my car. You should have told me.
oh, well, I didn't find him. But pit walk was super fun. I swung by the 7K team again, chatted with them. They're always a fun hang, as I mentioned before. I picked up a gentleman who I think listens occasionally, and I believe his name is Devin, but I'm actually not 100% sure about that. And he joined up in the pits for a while. That was an experience, I think we'll call it. Um, Definitely a little more vocal than even, like I'm a chatty guy, but I'm not like very loud and boisterous, very often, at least not drawing attention to myself. I can't say the same for Devin. He's a little more extroverted than me and my crew were, but he did make for a couple of laughs here and, and there. The boys ended up having fun with him later in the night as they were going up and down. He was asking picks, and Colton picked Shaden Sabraski in every feature he could, and he won a few of those, and so he made sure to rub it in his face every time he went by. But anyway, so pit walk was fun, and then we did end up catching back up with you, and that's when you told me why you didn't want to walk around the pits as
Yeah,
much. But
so GoPro duty is it's basically just run around the entire pit area, grabbing your GoPros you put on cars. Like, it's not like, so I guess I learned they moved the scales to the infield, like they used to be off the track, like back
yeah, right
there.
outside of
And if they were still there, it wouldn't really be an issue because I could kind of just meet them there. But now with the scales in the infield, sometimes they get held down there for a race or something, and like so you can't just your camera's stuck down there. So you can't do back-to-back races, especially during like B mains and heats. The features they usually got them off there before the next feature started, so it was okay. But and the pit area, there's so many cars, they're spread out everywhere. Like I'm putting a camera on a car and I'm trying to do guys that are near staging so I can get the camera and put it on the next car. And I ended up having to put one on Tommy Pagona's because the guy I was going to put one on was Tim Johnson. And then I realized, oh, he's racing in the super stock right now. That's why his street stock isn't in the lineup. Because, like, what is taking him so long to get to the lineup shoot? Like, oh, he's racing right now. That would explain it. And why I
uh,
couldn't find his car. So I was like, okay, I'll put one on him. And it sucks for him. Good for me that he got into a crash and towed off the track, drove off. I don't know what happened, but because he was parked in the like in the cornfield back there. I did not know he.
way
For
back
some reason
there.
I thought he was closer. I was like, I swear I saw his car closer, but I guess I didn't. So I had to sprint all the way back there and grab it. And then I don't know what was after. Was it mods after them? Do you remember?
I believe so. Yes,
So
I believe so.
that's when
Yes.
I was telling you the story. That's when I had to sprint to Wagaman's car to go hit record on his because I had to sprint all the way back over there just to get hit record on
Because
his.
he's right by
Yeah,
staging.
he's directly by staging, so that was nice.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah, I think I ended up with like 17,000. 17,000. Hold on, I'm gonna look.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what it
Yeah.
was. It was a lot of steps
Yeah.
in just the pit area. This isn't like the rest of the day. This was just the pit area. Yeah, 17,000 steps in the pit area alone, just
And these
from
were mostly mostly sprinting. You were mostly sprinting around. I mean, I know you're
um.
standing and walking a
It
little,
was
but
walking. it depends if they were parked like not right by staging, it was sprinting. Like when I was in the lineup shoot, I was just walking back and forth. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was usually sprinting pretty much between
Yeah.
car each car. So if you saw a guy with a
Yeah.
green vest and a jacket on and a backpack running around, like what is that guy doing? That was me trying to get all
Yeah,
the
that was.
cameras. And
So yeah, go
oh, go
ahead.
ahead. I was say, and the other challenge was all the Halloween decorations. You were gonna, it's like, oh, I'm gonna put it on this car, and then he pulls up to the lineup shoot, and there's freaking lights wrapped around the roll cage. There's a huge skeleton. It's like, well, where am I gonna put this thing now? It's like, all right,
All
let's
the fun
switch
parts
that
for
up.
a fan, you're like, no, get out of here. Yeah. Yeah, I did. I thought it was kind of interesting when I realized what you were going to be doing. I was just going to be like, he's just like, he's not going to see it from my perspective. I do think it was, so you had sort of made off the cuff a joke when we caught up before the races about did the boys want to make some extra cash? And I had told Colton about it, and his interest was definitely peaked. He asked a lot of questions, so much so that I messaged you during intermission, was like, would he be in the way? And you're like, not really, but he has to keep up. And Colton was like, probably not. But even after that, he still kept asking questions. So that would have been interesting to see him come down there and see the show from your perspective. Because I appreciate.
You might have gotten a text saying, "Hey, I lost Colton. I don't know where he went. I was running to the
Yeah.
back pit and I lost him."
Well, good thing I trust him. He's been around those pits enough, and he knows, how to
Knows his
be
way
safe
back and
around.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep. So he'd have been all right, but yeah, it would have been cool for him to see that side of it. And I thought it was interesting that he was so interested. But I do think, it's a long night of racing. Truthfully, it is, especially for like my boys who don't go to a ton of races. That's a long night of racing. At some point, he was probably just like, I don't even care that it's features. I just want to do something different, you know. So he would have enjoyed it. But for me, I enjoyed the racing. It was pretty solid. It was fun. I got the list of who you're putting cameras on, so then I was like more closely watching them. One, to see if you had one fell off, but two, also to see how good you were at picking race cars, because I assumed you were trying to get guys going to the front, and
Yeah.
some you nailed, like like Sabraski and the Super Sox, a couple other ones. Pagonis, I think you mentioned, had a wreck, um, but yeah, it was. I will say this. So the racing was solid, but there was one race in particular to me that was absolutely peak Topless Nationals, and you didn't even get to see it.
I'm gonna
But
guess it was the Midwest Mod feature. Was that the best? Oh,
no,
okay. I heard that race was good.
no. I genuinely don't recall much
Swearingen
about that
and
one.
somebody
Swearingen.
else
Oh
were
yeah,
like
that one
side
was
because I
good.
had a camera on Swearingen's
Yep,
car.
yep,
So
yep.
because
That actual one, that one was
someone
good.
texted me, it was like, "Good thing you put a camera on his car." I was like, "Oh, I don't know what's happening," but
Yeah.
I was watching live timing to know when the race was ending.
Oh yeah, that
So,
was a solid
so
one.
I
Yeah.
knew he was up there.
Yep. And he's always super good there. And I'll just say this. He always has the skulls on the
Mhm.
decking. And I'm just saying, he always has them skulls, and he's always at the front at this show. So, maybe he's being in the spirit smartly, is what I think is going on here. He's wisely using the rules to his advantage. Because he does light them up, so that's cool too. They're lit up skeletons on the side of the car while he's racing. But no, actually, to me, peak Topless Nats was the street stock feature, because Caden Woody it was solid racing, but Caden Woody at one point got to the lead, and you saw what his car looked like, and he
Mhm.
had that waving skeleton with the deuces sign that was on the whole race. That skeleton was
Was
on the
that
whole
on
race.
your side,
That
like
was on,
the side
I
that the
think
right side of
it was on
that
driver's
faces the?
side, I think,
Oh, I do not remember that. I
or
saw his
maybe it was
car.
on our side.
I
No, it was
know.
on our side. You're
Okay,
right.
that's why I never
Yep,
saw it then, because
yep.
I was to
So,
his driver's
yep.
side.
So it's on our side. So he drives to the lead with this skeleton throwing up deuces. And then then Parker Anderson gets there, and they just proceed to put on like a 5 to 10 lap absolute battle for the lead with this skeleton the whole time, dude. It was just like, yes, this is everything. This is everything. So thought it was awesome. That was my favorite race of the whole night, bar none. It was a good race. Woody and Anderson put on a show. Anderson did end up winning and kind of pulling away at the end, but it was a solid race. And I was cracking up the whole time. Like I couldn't keep it
I
together. It's
saw
so good. So,
AJ Keller. He's a guy from like that's Thunder Bay area. He had a skeleton, but it was giving the middle finger. That was on his driver. It was on like his window net. I remember seeing.
oh
Because I
yeah,
was gonna
yeah.
put a camera on his car, but he had stuff on the roll cage, and I was like, oh crap, I can't put it there. But I remember seeing that in staging. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Just
Yeah.
flipping the guy off next to you.
I did. I will say it wasn't as bright and colorful, but I did really appreciate Jody Belfi's this big old spider on the top of his car. I thought that looked pretty
Oh, I think
cool.
I do remember
It's
seeing
just
that.
yeah. Especially because he has the covering on his roll
Oh
cage.
yeah,
He doesn't have a halo top. He's got the cover there. And so then the spider just kind of makes it look a little, I don't know, like he's in the mood. And then anyway, I thought it was cool. So yeah, it was a super cool night of racing. We did get out there a little bit earlier than the Fall Classic, so that was a dub too. There's a lot of racing going on. I
can
enjoyed it.
you
I enjoyed it.
how many full races do you think I saw on Saturday?
Full. I
Like
feel
B
like
mains features.
maybe like the last feature and the last B main potentially, but
As
that would be
so I think it was four, and I saw the Mod 4 feature because that was the last car I had a camera on, so I just watched from the
okay.
backstretch. And then the Hornet feature because we didn't put a camera on a car, so I walked up. Actually, I didn't even see the full thing because I actually texted you when there was a red flag. I was like, "Why is there a red flag?" So I didn't
Oh
see the
yeah.
full thing
Yeah.
technically of that because I was walking back. But I saw the Mod 4 feature and two B mains. I saw two because there was a gap, like a three race gap between one B main and the next. So I just waited, and then the last B main I saw too. So that was all I saw. And then I did walk up and saw a second of the late model feature because I wanted to get a video standing out of turn four. I got
Oh
my
yeah, that's a cool
video.
video.
You
I
get
like that
pelted
video.
by dirt standing there. Just everyone that was
Mm.
there by me, like every time the cars would come by, they'd all like look away and then look back up. There was another guy doing exactly what I was doing, was looking away and just holding your phone up. I was like, all
Uh,
right, that's enough of that. Back to staging.
yeah. Well, you got a taste of being a different style of content creator, Carter. That
I
is
did,
a cool video though.
yeah,
That is
I
a
did
cool
see
video.
I saw the parade as well.
Oh yeah. I
Because
always dig
I
the parade.
actually I ran into you in the concession line right before
Yep.
because I had to go charge my
Yep.
phone because I'm on the live timing like the whole time, see when the race is done, so I know how much time I have to get to the next car. So my phone was at like 15% after B mains. And I was like, oh, so I went and charged it during intermission.
Yeah. Right on. Yeah. When the boys were with me, that was so they had their portable charger. So like again, different perspectives. Colton was definitely kind of in the racing, asking a bunch of questions, trying to get a job. The thing is you mentioned money. So that was a big factor. Yeah, he's like, even if it was just $10, I wouldn't mind. And then Xavier was over there texting his new friend that he's got. And so he was very deep in a phone sending Snapchats. And so we occasionally had to be like, Xavier, look up, there's a race. But so I enjoyed it. And it was right around my birthday. That was actually, I will say this, that was kind of cool. I walked in the pits because I get pit passes. So I got my pit pass and the line was long and I was like, we'll just go through the pits to get our seats. But I walked through and the Cachatis were right there at the pit entrance. And Teddy was like, hey, happy birthday. And I was like, thank you very much. Like took me for a loop a little bit. I didn't expect, I've mentioned it. Obviously it wasn't like it was a big secret, but I didn't expect a happy birthday to be coming my way right away in the pit. So that was a welcome and much appreciated thing. So thank you very much, Teddy. Honestly, I appreciated it. It made me feel welcome. I didn't plan to talk about that. It just sort of reminded me.
You made us
Yeah.
record on a Tuesday for your birthday. You complain about me
I
making different days for Vikings games.
True. I mean, it was my birthday. So I
Hey,
wouldn't make you film on your
hey,
birthday.
there was only one Monday night game the Vikings got all year. It happens once a year, just like the birthday.
All right. Well, if they start getting two, you're gonna have to come up with a new argument, is all I'm saying. Yeah,
Well, I
but
don't think we'll be on that Monday night playoff game the way the season's going, so I
the
think we'll be
way it's
safe.
going, nope, nope, nope. Is uh oh my God, I just completely froze. Is QB1 back, or is he still going
Nope,
to be out
Carson Wentz.
come
Carson Wentz
tomorrow?
experience for one more week.
It is an experience. That is for
Watching
sure.
him
I
play
watched my
every time he runs, it's like Carson, what are you doing? What are you doing, Carson? Then he gets the first
yeah.
down. It's like keep going, Carson. And then the next play he'll throw the ball 40 feet in the air and just hope somebody's there that isn't the other team.
It's like a less elegant and effective version of quarterbacking like Jameis Winston.
Yeah, it's
Like
a not as exciting
it
version.
yeah,
Like
it's like still very calamitous, but it's like there aren't the highs and lows that
yeah,
you
it's
get.
just you're gonna get 2 picks and like 300 yards, but you're not gonna get like but Jameis Winston, it's like 2 picks, but like 3 touchdowns and 300 yards, like and some crazy like
Yeah.
60-yard play in there. We have not gotten
Well,
that.
yeah, and with Winston, it's usually 4 picks. One is
That's
a
true.
pick six, right?
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah. I've long said he had the highest rate of pick sixes of anybody, and he threw a lot of touchdowns, which means in some years he could have potentially led the league in total touchdowns if you think about it. But
And
like,
if he loses, at least he's funny, so it's like I don't even really care.
there's that. There is that. So, but yeah. Anyway, well, so tomorrow, the day after, once this comes out, tomorrow is the Vikes game, and so, um, do you think we're gonna win? Who are we playing? You're more
We're
invested
playing the
in this
Chargers.
season. The Chargers. Ooh.
The Chargers did just get smoked by the Colts, but the Colts have been pretty good this year. I think the Chargers have lost like 3 in a row.
Yeah,
So I guess we can end
we
their
had
winless streak for them.
we had 3 quarterbacks on our roster last year, and 2 of them are just absolutely just shredding right now, just shredding. And the other one's on is hurt and not playing, and we get the Carson Wentz experience. Leave it to us. Now, to be fair, I didn't have Daniel Jones being
No,
like
I didn't expect Daniel
the
Jones to
man.
be doing great. I think if they expected it, they would have paid him a little bit more or
Right?
offered a bit more.
Yeah, right on. All right. Well, moving on. So with being you obviously running, somewhere close to a couple miles in the pits and me and the family being at the show, I didn't watch a ton of racing. You didn't watch a ton of racing. I did obviously follow along with some stuff because there's some important stuff that was happening. So we'll run it down a little bit, but the Dirt Track World Championship was at Eldora, and that was the Lucas Oil season finale. So we were crowning a winner. We went in with a basically sort of like whoever finishes furthest up in the order is going to win. We had a small margin of victory. Moran was leading, but it ended up not really mattering. Bobby Pierce won the show. Um, Moran ended up taking fourth, and I think RTJ was involved in an incident or popped a tire or something. And
Something happened. Yeah, I
I,
know something
yeah,
happened with him.
yeah, and I know JD also went to the pits, and he was like a long shot. He needed the other two basically to like not finish the race and him to win, but he didn't have a chance to win once he swapped the tire out. So that's kind of how it shook out as far as, and so what that basically, I guess, bearing the lead a little bit as I'm prone to do, but essentially that meant Moran won the title. So that was his first, I think that's his first touring title of any kind and his first Lucas title as well. Um, and it feels odd because while he runs, like he's obviously one of the best late model drivers. Like he doesn't quite win as much as like a guy as like RTJ or
But
Bobby
he's like
Pierce.
consistently like up there in the top five and could win.
Yeah.
He could win on any given night, but yeah, he just doesn't win as much. But if he's not winning,
Yep.
he's usually like, oh, Moran's top five again.
Yeah. And I mean, I think he's like almost in a way quietly consistent in a
Yeah,
way. Like no one forgets about Devin Moran, but his wins aren't as
he's just
as
never the favorite.
correct. I think that's exactly it. That's a great way to put it, Carter. He's just never the favorite. So it's kind of cool to see him win this because he did it on the back of just cold consistency. I think he top fived his way to a title, and that was like completely on brand. So I guess win it how you got there, right? Just
And when he
stay.
did kind of struggle, I feel like it was after like, it was at the point where he was already in the top four. So it's like
Mhm.
screw it. If you're already in, I don't know if he was testing stuff or not, but like it seemed like he wasn't doing as well towards that like back half, like before they kind of
That
locked
little
in the. So it's like
Yep.
it doesn't really matter at that point if you suck because you just need to be good for these last few races. You can suck all you want right now. Just
Yeah.
don't like miss every show. But he's got provisionals anyway, so he's safe.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was something like out of those 4 races, he had three, I think it was maybe three top threes and a top five or something crazy. And the top five was the fourth in the world championship, I think is what it was. So just like,
And I think
yeah,
he won one of those at I think he won at Pittsburgh. He won one of the nights too.
that sounds correct. Yeah. So, I mean, that, you know, while he doesn't convert on that often, his brand very much is run up front and eventually you're going to win a few of them. And so, like,
It'll
yeah.
it'll be interesting next year. We should also add that the Dirt Track World Championship is moved to West Virginia Motor Speedway for next year, not in
Yeah.
Eldora. They're keeping Eldora in the mix. I think I don't know if they're Eldora is still going to be in like the final few races. It's just the last ones.
Okay.
I assume the Dirt Track World Championship will be the last one is at West Virginia Motor Speedway. So that'll be interesting because that's new
Interesting.
for everyone. I mean, they may get a few races in before that at some point next year, but it'll be pretty much completely new for all those guys.
Yeah, it will be. Well, I mean, Woo's going to be there at some point
Yeah,
too. I
just
think we know
depends if
that. So,
Lucas is on top of them or if they're not running during it, we may see some of those guys show up there.
yep,
And Hunt the
yep,
Front earlier today announced they'll be there for a race too. So there's
yeah,
opportunities.
yeah. That's kind of cool too, though, right? Like, we obviously weren't the first to mention it, but we did bring up last week. You brought up in the one for the road that they had close to 80 super late models, and we kind of talked about how this was like you know, like just showed if you were to put together a good racetrack and put some solid promoting together, people showed up and like the dominoes are just falling off of that, right? They nailed that show and now they've their track world championship. I guess not the first time they've been there. Obviously, the first time they've been there in this configuration, but I did see they had been there in 2010. Um, so I don't know that anyone really wants to leave Eldora as the place to hold your event, but this particular event, the Dirt Track World Championship, has moved around a
Yeah,
lot.
it's moved a
So
lot.
yeah, yeah. So, but if that one show that we've got so far is any indication, they should have a hell of a field.
Yeah,
And also, and also, you were right. Well, not I don't want to say completely right, but there were more cars at West Virginia
then at
last Sunday
Eldora.
than there were Eldora. Yeah, yeah, I checked that. So, um, but yeah, also do want to quickly mention Charlie Mefford won in the mods there. They had a 5,000 to win modified show, and Mefford won. And then Marler, I saw Marler
Yep.
took third. He was back in that Jerry Foster owned modified. So I just think I'm tickled pink every time I see he ran a modified. I missed it. And
He's always up to I know he used to run like he kind of started out in mods, but he's always like
yeah,
not as much as RTJ, but he's always kind of in another division. Like he was in a sprint car not too long ago, a 360 sprint. He's just
yeah.
up to random side quests. It's like screw it, got nothing better to do. Let's hop into
He's a
something
race
else.
car. Yeah. I think I could be talking completely out of my left foot, but I could have swore I think their dad still races and like occasionally I'll see posts from Marlo like
Oh,
he's
like a
crewing for
street
his
stock or
dad's.
something, isn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
yeah. Yep. So definitely a racing family, obviously, but I get a kick out of that too. So um but anyway, oh, we forgot to mention on the point side of things. So Moran won the title, obviously, but they had the rookie of the year, and we talked about this a bit earlier in the year. I think it was like 10 grand to win rookie of the year. But Donald McIntosh won that, and then subsequently is now on the lookout for a ride. So so interesting. I saw on Dirt, him and the Billy Hicks team had separated after the season. He had mentioned that he wanted to stay out on tour. So I don't know, take that for what you will, but it seems like
Did they say whether it was like was it just mutual decision or was
it
he
was
let
sort of
go?
one of those, it was time kind of thing,
Gotcha.
I think. Yeah, the way it was presented. I'll be honest, I I didn't try to parse it too much because it just felt like the normal, we
Hmm.
mutually parted ways kind of stuff that they say. Which is all well and good. I think, relationships end sometimes and they don't have to be good nor bad. It's just thanks for the good memories and away you go. But But so that actually kind of reminds me there was some other news in the late model ride world. Not that we talk a ton about this, but this kind of we're in like approaching the deadish season of racing. So like these are our headlines in a way, right? Um, but Josh Rice, I guess, is taking over that JRR ride that was Dalton Wilson's.
Hmm.
Um, so kind of saw that coming a little bit. I
Yeah,
think if you,
he drove for him recently at like Atomic at like some random, I don't know if it was like a Iron Man show or what it was, but it was at Atomic recently. Um,
yeah,
so when I saw that's who he was going with, I was like, oh yeah, that's not surprising. And honestly, it may have been known and I just didn't see it. May have been
yeah,
kind of obvious
well,
that it was happening, but
it was sort of made official this past
yeah,
weekend, I think, after the Dirt Track World Championship. Because I saw Wilson said he was parting ways. And then shortly after, I saw Rice announce that he was going to be in that ride. I think they're going to be at Atomic this weekend, too.
yep, we'll be at
So,
Atomic this weekend.
scene of the crime, if you will. Um, I also did find it like, because Wilson for a long time has been one of those guys that if it's a big show, Dalton Wilson's going to be there. And I did kind of notice this past like back half of the season that was no longer
Not
the
there.
case, right? He was just at Lucas and that was it, you know. And so that also felt like something was coming
I thought
undone there. So
Wilson was gonna have like an Albertson type year, like
I kind of did
this year, because
too.
after that East Bay win, but then it just nothing really ever came of it. He would have a good run here and there, but not like consistently. So
Hmm.
unfortunate, but yeah, I
Yeah.
thought for sure he was gonna kind of have an Albertson type of breakout year.
It did feel like they were very much like they're I don't want to say similar drivers because that's not fair, but like on a similar trajectory a little
Yeah,
bit. Like been on the tour about the same amount of time, been putting together more and consistent and better performance. I mean, I love the nickname too, Big Perm. So I hope we get him back out in a car. But yeah, so that kind of happened. And Josh Rice being on, I think they said they're gonna stay on Lucas. I think I saw that, or maybe
uh, I
maybe
know
just
they're
they'll
gonna
be on a
on a
tour,
tour. I know
maybe just
that.
a
Yeah,
tour. Okay. But it'll be cool to see Josh Rice on a tour. I mean, he's always super good at Florence and everything. So maybe that's why I think Lucas, because Florence.
Florence.
Yeah. But uh, but anyway, so that'll be kind of interesting to see how that plays out. You were telling me about a little bit of a rumor, and I think everyone knows the rumor, but you were telling me a bit more about the story. So the rumor that I think well, I should say everybody, but the people we follow and talk to kind of all seem that feel like Dallin Murray's going to end up at Skyline, uh, in a super late model. And you told me you were at Hawkeye Downs and something interesting
Yeah,
happened.
at Hawkeye Downs, the announcer when he I think it was after he won the stock. Yeah, because he didn't win the late model feature. He won the stock car feature, and the announcer was interviewing him, and he was like, I don't know how he worded it, but it was like, well, the rumor is you're going to Skyline next year, and Dallin Murdy was just like, oh, I'm not ready to give out my plans yet, but a lot of people have seemed to f know what they are already, so I don't know if that's the plans that he's talking about,
Yeah.
but I thought it was interesting to just
Feels like it is.
kind of just say the rumor like out loud, like when it's not announced yet, but hey, whatever you want to
Yeah.
do. But yeah,
Yeah.
so I thought that was the first I heard of it. I've been bad at keeping up with news in the national level lately. So, but I was like, oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting to me. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
They're both
It does make
located in
sense.
Iowa. I mean, I think
Yeah.
Dallin's more central, but still Iowa. So
Yeah. I was thinking about that just since you told me, a little bit earlier today, and that would be an interesting one. Just because like that Skyline team, they've had a lot of drivers over the years. Doesn't seem like anyone really ever finishes a tour run. I was trying to think the last time Bruning finished it. I'm not like trying to poo-poo it, but it is like I always hope for the best, but
I wouldn't be
man,
shocked if he didn't even run a tour. Like if he was with them next year, like if they just went more like
that would make
Mars
sense.
stuff, national stuff that's
Okay, there you
nearby,
go.
like more like stay in the Midwest, but hit the big Midwest shows. Like don't
Yeah.
we're not gonna go down to I don't know Tennessee or something and run with Lucas this weekend. We'll stay and run this Mars show at Farmer City or maybe SLMR too, whatever. Um,
The SMR bit's the part where I'm like, he's already doing that. So like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Well,
but there's still some bigger SLMR shows you could hit. Maybe skip the smaller ones, hit some of the bigger ones. And if
no, I hear
there's
that. Just not run that
nothing
completely, but hit
crazy
that
going
number.
on nearby, like just okay, we'll
Yeah.
just run this because more laps is more laps. So
You might be right. The tour part was the part that didn't make total sense to me, but maybe you've got it licked. Is the first year is like a dip your toe and there's enough going on around this area. Well,
exactly.
when we talked about the HMT sort of the Heartland, well, I don't want to call it Heartland modified tour, but the Heartland late model tour or Heartland,
Yeah,
whatever. But now there's that other now in the Missouri, Kansas, which is not wildly far from them. So you have a point. Not that they have to run any one of those tours, just that if you're in the
there's
Heartland, there's a lot of late model
just
racing all of a
in the
sudden.
Midwest, you have so many
Yeah,
so many options to go to, and all the big
yeah,
series come around all the time, so you're always kind
yeah.
of close by.
You make a good point. And then Mars ain't but a jaunt, and
And they come out to
no,
Iowa too, a good
yeah,
amount. Not a good
yeah,
amount, but enough to hit up some of
I
those.
know,
And if you want to go to the Illinois ones too and get some experience there, there's
yeah,
plenty of
and
options.
yeah, and Woo Park's in the Midwest for like 4 months, and
Mhm.
there's a Hell Tour. There's a you okay. Thanks for helping me talk through that. That makes more sense. I was just kind of immediately went to that tour and was like, eh. Like not
Yeah.
a great
I
step,
mean,
but
even
it's
like when Brandon Shepard started with Rocket, he started like they didn't even run a tour the first year. They did like Hell Tour, which I'm not saying he's
yeah,
going to run the whole Hell Tour, but like even Brandon Shepard when he first got with Mark Richards, it's like, all right, let's 1 year just run kind of at tracks you know at, but like against better
let's figure each
competition,
other out. Yeah.
and then we'll go at this full time next year.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. I like that thought. I just always sort of associate Skyline with being on a tour, but like like I said, only for a little bit, you know. So,
They
but
might be
anyway,
on a tour for Speed Weeks, and then that's the end
yeah,
of that.
always. But anyway, um, but actually, speaking of Murdy, just real quick, did you see that he's so I thought this was interesting, but so we saw that he was announced to be in a mod at the Dome. So we figured out who he's racing for. You may have even hypothesized this, but
Yeah, I
so he's
figured
gonna,
Timmy Current. That's seems like
yeah,
every Iowa guy that makes it's driving for him.
yeah, it seems to be the case. I did find it interesting. It says new Rage chassis. I think taking a new chassis to the Dome seems crazy, but you do you, fellas. But did you see the crew?
I did not. You mentioned it. I know there's a few big names on there in
Yeah, so
IMCA
let me
land.
run this down. The crew is Drew Jansen, Ethan Broxma, and Cody Laney. So I feel like that car is going to be tuned up. I mean, that's a heck of a crew. Yeah, that's a lot of 10K wins, some national champions,
Super
some
national champs.
yeah, yeah.
And I still
So
think my one disappointment about the Dome invites is I think Ethan Braxma should have been one of them. Maybe he got one and he said no or something, but I think he absolutely deserved an invite to the Dome this year, and I was
I
not pleased when
agree.
he didn't get one.
I
Paris
agree.
Clash at the Creek, that one thing in Oregon or whatever, and
Yeah.
whatever else he won.
Well, second at the big deal, B-Mod
Yeah.
deal too. Like, yeah. I mean, a lot of big shows at the
I
front at
mean, Paris
everything.
Clash had like 70 mods there at
Yeah.
Boo, and so that's
Yeah.
like the second
Yeah.
biggest race you could win there besides Super Nats.
Yeah, I think he won a bunch of stuff early in the season too, but I could be
Probably he won
misremembering.
a good
Yeah,
amount.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he won a ton. He wins a lot. I agree with you. They have a sort of we've noticed over this year they have a bit of a rhyme or a reason. Like it seems to be guys who've won national championships
And they
or
they do invite
series,
guys that have been
and
coming since the beginning.
yep,
They're
yep,
like
and
not
some
gonna just say screw
loyalty.
you guys, you can't come anymore. So they yeah,
Yep.
I get it, but I still wish he got one.
No, I hear you. I hear you. Who's to say he won't? I mean, I always feel like that Timmy Current, always brings like a stable of cars. So, and there's guys who got invites who won't make it and things
Yeah,
will
and then
move
they get
around. So you
alternates. I
never
know
know.
that
Yep.
happened. That's how
Yep.
Jimmy Owens got in 2 years ago, I think it was, or last year. It
Yeah.
was from an alternate. So yeah,
Could
we'll
be.
see.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. They definitely brought a crew ready to race should an opportunity
They got a lot of
arise.
backup drivers. Yeah.
Yeah. Say that. So I just thought that was interesting. But anyway, I think that's well that's sort of it on we got on a bit of a tangent there from dirt
Yeah.
track. I love it. It means we have a good conversation. But the other thing I was keeping an eye on was speaking of HMT or Heartland Modified Tour. So they had their season finale this past weekend at I think it was I-35. Unfortunately, what was supposed to be a 2-day battle was turned into a 1-day battle. So they got rained out on Friday. They just got the Saturday show in. Um, and as I've been mentioning along the way for our avid listeners, this has been a points battle I've been following. And going in, we had Bobby Williams leading, Brandon Givens leading, Shadron Turner, all three with a shot to win. Um, and in the one and only race they had, Shadron Turner won. So I had mentioned last week he's raced here a bit. He's familiar. He He gave her everything he could. He won the final one. So I think you could say won the battle, but not the war, because Bobby Williams came home third, and that was good enough to secure the points championship. And that's pretty impressive because Bobby Williams is
Rookie.
yeah,
So,
nailed it. You're probably thinking, but so is Shattern Turner. Also true. I could have used it for either one, but also interesting. Bobby Williams won the point championship and he didn't win a race. I just think that's to the Moran effect, like we talked about before. Just coldly consistent. Put together top fives, top tens, and you do enough of that, and You'll you'll win championships as two different guys demonstrated. So I thought that was kind of cool. I appreciated that they had a good points battle coming down the stretch. Obviously, I'm a bit of a nerd for this stuff, and I love USRA modifieds. So this was cool. I'm glad that at least got it. I was hoping for one with USMTS, and I haven't gotten it. So But anyway, so congratulations to Bobby Williams on a cool season. I mean, he's a rookie, but also like a rookie in a mod. That's always why I stress it so much. Is like this is his first full season in a mod, and he's on tour, and that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. I'm just saying that's pretty neat. So anyway, congratulations to him. Congratulations to Shadron Turner for putting up a hell of a fight, and congratulations to Brandon Givens coming home third. So that's who you picked. So I won this one. I won this one. But anyway, so that's everything we followed this past weekend. As far as going racing, like I said, my racing season's over. But I think your Stylin and Profilin was maybe a foreshadowing event. So
yeah,
where are you headed this weekend?
my racing season is far from over.
It keeps getting extended.
Usually this would be the last weekend. Somehow it's gained at least 3 weekends, could be 4 weekends, depending what happens. So we'll see. But yes, I'm going to Marshalltown this weekend, and this is a show I went to. They had it for the first time last year, and I remember when they announced it, I was like, "Oh, end of October, everything's done by me. That's like a guaranteed. We'll be going to that." Um, and we liked it enough. We're going back this year. And I think they had like high 200s last year for car count. I don't remember the exact number. But they pay like pretty like all the divisions pay really well.
Very solid.
And I think do you have it on there
I
listed?
do. So yeah,
I know
mods are
mods are for, yep.
yep. Stocks and hobby stocks. So stock cars and hobby stocks
Yeah.
are both
Someone, I can't
3 grand.
remember who it was, but someone put up more money for the hobby stacks. I
I
was very
love
happy
it.
because they were, I think
Yeah.
they were whatever the sport mods are getting. But then they got a
Uh,
boost.
yeah. So sport mods and pro lates, which I think is interesting, are both 2 grand. And then mod lights and sport compacts are 1,000
Yeah.
each.
And the Pro Late models only run Saturday. The other
Yeah.
divisions, kind of run a WISSOTA format, but because they can keep the show moving, they actually run 2 heat races Friday instead of just one, because they can run each class runs
I
double
heard this.
heats.
I heard the subtle dig. I heard it. I heard it.
So yeah, it's double heats Friday, although they did still get done at midnight last year. Um, so
Oh, in
the
Wisconsin, the pitchforks.
Iowa too. I mean that's late in Iowa. Um, But yeah, the racing was good last year. I do remember though it did rubber for the mod feature last year, so hopefully that doesn't happen. Everything else was good except for that one race, but it's okay because the hobby stocks came out after them last year and redeemed it. So
They can race on anything.
exactly, that was actually I don't. There was a video from there and it went like pretty viral. There was a rollover in the hobby stocks last year, a double. They both rolled at the same time, like it was synchronized flips down the front stretch.
Ooh,
So I don't know if you probably saw. I don't know if you remember it, but it was
I think I
it was
probably
on
have.
Flow and it was kind of shared everywhere. But it was one of the craziest wrecks I've ever seen. Like it was just like they were crashing down the front stretch and they both barrel rolled at the same time down the front straightaway. And then earlier in that night, there was like a guy trying to fight another guy in the front stretch. There was a lot of the hobby stocks were bringing up some chaos. It was entertaining though. Um, so I'm looking forward to that. And they got the corn nuggets, and we're excited for the corn
Oh
nuggets.
yeah, yep. Sherry, that memory is burned into her head. Like you talked about corn nuggets one time, and she's just like, "We need to go to whatever track that is."
There's a couple you can go to. Boone's got them too. So I don't know. I
Okay,
can't remember if anyone else has them, but I know Boone and
all right.
Marshalltown got
And
them.
Motown do. All right, right on. So
And then we're gonna stop at the Knoxville Museum on Saturday during the day. It's like an hour away, but I've been there. Ryan hasn't, and we were supposed to go there I don't remember what race we were going to. Oh, so we were supposed to go to the Frostbusters, but we ended up at Talladega. We were going to stop there. So we're gonna hopefully get there on Saturday. We're gonna be cutting it kind of close. We'll be okay on time, but it'll just we won't have much time to like relax Saturday, but that's all right.
No dilly
Um,
dallying.
yeah, I might have to get up at like 10 a.m. on Saturday, which
Yeah,
could be early for me if they get done
yeah,
at midnight. So,
yeah.
um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. A lot of racing, hopefully a lot of cars.
Right on. Yeah, you guys have been on like not only a track tour, but apparently a museum tour too.
I like
So
museums, so
yeah, I've noticed. I dig it actually. So like, I'm kind of like quasi jealous. I really do. I dig
my
that you
favorite
guys.
things to see is like historic like buildings or homes from like the Abraham Lincoln one we stopped at.
Okay.
There's just not
Yeah.
like a ton of them nearby like racetracks unless you're in a bigger city. But like when we stayed in Illinois, we were in Springfield where he grew up or whatever, so it worked out. But yeah, there's usually racing museums we can find or something like
Heck
Talladega. But
yeah.
yeah, I that's usually the go-to for something to do during the day is that. And it's cold
I
out
dig
now,
it.
and so I'd rather be
Yeah,
inside
you want
because
rather be
we're gonna
inside.
be outside the rest of the night.
Exactly, freezing your tails off. So no, I dig it though. That's kind of cool. Um, Yeah, I think just because I associate museums with old people, I've started doing an old man habit now. I started reading more. So
Oh,
like,
I haven't
but
gotten to
like
that.
pick up a book reading, not like scrolling on my phone reading. Like so. Uh, anyway, I felt like share that. I. So it was my birthday. I got knives, a cutting board, some shoes, khaki colored shoes, um, and a couple of books is more like that's my loot for my birthday. That's like very old man, you know. But anyway, so uh I'm not at like I mentioned, not going racing. I do though. My Saturday is going to be kind of wild. So Xavier's football team is playing in their playoffs now. Their state playoffs have started, and so they had number one seed in their conference division. However, whatever random phrasing they're using for it. And so they play at 1 p.m. on Friday. So I'm kind of excited for like
Oh,
that's like
okay.
college football timing, right?
Yeah,
That's
that's I
college
was like that's
football
weird. I was like
timing.
that's really weird, but I remembered when
Yeah.
by us too they play at really weird times, so that makes sense.
Yeah, well, their opponent, whomever they're playing, like just got done with the football game. They played on Tuesday, and then they're
Oh,
going to turn around and play on Saturday. Yeah, so they're kind of like it's a little bit of a condensed schedule to get these games done before the weather gets too awful. I think. Um,
it's
when
football.
I
What's
played,
the big
yeah,
deal?
that true. It gets real cold, man,
Where
and winter
where
sports have started.
where do like the championship games get played at?
The dome, or well, I say the dome, showing my
St.
age.
Louis.
Yeah,
No, I know
yeah,
what you mean. The
at US Bank.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But the
Funny
playoff games are
story.
like at the schools.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
until the semifinals. Semifinals and finals are
Okay.
at the dome, so or the Metrodome. Back when I was
US
in high
Bank
school,
Stadium.
yep, US Bank Stadium. Well, so here's the thing. In my defense, when I was a junior, our team went to the state championship. We did unfortunately lose, but we went to the state championship and we played in the Metrodome. And I remember because we had to like buy special. Well, obviously I remember because I did it. But one of the things I remember about it is we had to buy like special shoes for the carpet in the Metrodome. Like there were special
Oh,
carpet
like
shoes.
cleats you
Yep.
had to get?
Well, yeah, except for they were like tennis shoes, but they were for the carpet, if that makes any sense. Because this was back in the Metrodome when it was like carpet. This was
Yeah, it was
2001.
like
Yeah.
hard as a
Yeah, it
rock
wasn't
pretty much.
it was like or astroturf, I think they called it, but it wasn't this newfangled stuff with recycled tires and like fake grass blades. It was like carpet. Yes. But yeah. So anyway, so that's gonna be cool. And then we throw a Halloween party every year. And so our Halloween party's that evening. So I'm gonna have to get all ready and then beat feet over. But Sherry and I picked out our costumes, and I'll tell you this. I can tell you the whole thing, or I can maybe show a picture after the party or something. But I'll say this. It is a wrestling themed costume.
Wrestler from your era?
Yeah, well, wrestlers,
Oh,
not a tag team, not a like a valet and a wrestler, but it is a enforcer and a wrestler, if you will. But from my area, it's like a deep cut, so it's okay if you want to throw out a guess, then I'll tell you the answer. But
well, I feel like it's too obvious to be like Undertaker, Paul Bearer. And I don't know, that might be later
Oh,
than
that
your
would have been
era.
that would have been good. That was definitely my era for
Okay.
sure. But
Yeah.
no, so
I
it's
can't even really think of any other like enforcer. I know there's some out there, but like China
no,
and Triple H.
that would have been a good one. And that's super close. So I'll tell you, but it's Shawn Michaels and Diesel.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah,
thinking like a girl. I was
yeah,
trying to think of like a
yeah.
girl and a guy one.
I was trying to lead you to that it was going to be two dudes, and I feel like I mean, you've seen Shawn Michaels tights. Like a chick can wear those. It's all right. It'll work out. And she's got
So
long
so
blonde
she
hair.
so
We're
so
all
you're
right.
not being Shawn Michaels?
I'm not Shawn Michaels. No, Sherry's Shawn Michaels, and I'm gonna be Diesel. So, so you remember when I was telling you I bought them shiny pants? That
Oh,
was
that's what it was for.
yeah. I'm pretty pumped about this one. We got all this stuff early for one. We were like way early on this party, but we got it early enough that we tried it on. And Colton goes for a bike ride after school every day. And so we tried it all on and he was out on his bike ride. And I was like, we should go wait for him in the garage. We live on like a pretty busy street in our little neighborhood here. And so we sit out in the garage for like 15 minutes in our costumes waiting for it to show up. Anyway, I've gone on a tangent. I'm excited for this weekend. It's going to be fun. So, um, but through all that fun, I'm going to try to follow a couple things. I think the thing I'll be like most paying attention to is what I believe to be the season finale for USMTS. I'm pretty sure these are their last two shows. I'm pretty sure I heard on one of their most recent shows that like the season finale at Hot is no longer happening. So I'm pretty sure this is it, but I couldn't tell you for sure. And if there's been an update to that, I also couldn't tell you. I looked, but I didn't see anything to give me any indication. But anyway, but so with that, I think we've got season finale going on. We're at Lakeside on Friday, 81 on Saturday, and this points battle was kind of cool at one point, but at this point, Rodney Sanders, again, just cool, cold consistency, has pulled away. He leads Tanner Mullins by 69. Nice. And so I not totally insurmountable over 2 days, but pretty unlikely, even with Mullins being like pistol hot the last month and being at the absolute front of everything. I still think it's probably a little bit out of reach. So I wouldn't be shocked to see Rodney Sanders pull down what I believe is going to be his sixth USMTS national championship. So that's not half bad. If but for Kelly Shryock winning like the first 9 in a row or something, he'd probably be anyway, yeah, you can do the math. He'd be doing really well. But anyway, so and then on the rookie of the year front, Joe Chisholm
Joe.
has mostly locked that up too. So
Wasn't he like the point leader at one point early in the year?
I think so, yeah.
I just remember like it kept changing pretty early on, like normal, but it's just like
Yeah.
I remember I thought I remember him
He
leading at
won
one
one of
point.
the first races,
Yeah,
one
and
of
then
the early
ended
season
up bleeding
races.
because
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Oh, I guess
but
Tyler Bruning was the Lucas point leader. Remember? He won the
yeah,
opener at Golden Isles.
it was at one point, and I don't even was that the tour he even ran for a little bit, or I don't remember which one he
I
ran
didn't
for a
remember
bit.
where he ended up on. I think it was Lucas, but I can't
I think
remember.
it was Lucas because of that specifically. But anyway, so this is sort of the second year in a row where there could have, should have, would have been a really cool points battle, and like down the stretch has just been like, I mean, a nothing burger. I mean, between weather, I get that weather and certain things out of their control can't happen, but like certain things out of their control happen. I get that. I get like the thing that happened at Hot happens. I understand those things, but like we're going on year two where there's just like, it's like it's kind of a for guys like me who pay attention. I really like this product. I trying to be invested in it, and it's just like the last 2 months we've raced like 3 times and like and we're losing races and it's just like we're just fizzling out. I don't know. I'm hoping for the best because I really enjoy USRA modifieds. I think USMTS puts on a hell of a show. I really do. I saw a clip not too long ago where I think it was the One to Go show said they don't draw, and I don't know. I guess I would quibble with that. I've been at, the Fall Jamboree and all these other shows, and they're pretty packed out. I feel like the Masters is a pretty big crowd. I feel like these big shows do just fine. Princeton did just
I
fine.
think it's more the drivers they mean like don't like I don't know like if they were to come to my area, people aren't going to come as much for Jim Chisholm as they would for Bobby Pierce or something. You know what I mean? Like in that area,
I
like Jim Chisholm is a big driver, I feel like, but like in this area, by me, it's like we see mods all the time and stuff. Like if Bobby
I
Pierce
think
showed up or
USMTS
something,
has to be the sell, right? The biggest, baddest modifieds, and maybe that's the problem.
because
Maybe
I mean
everyone has their
they did come
modifieds
to
and they
my
like them.
area. This was like 2016, and I know it's changed a lot
Yeah.
then, but the issue was the crowd. Like I remember 141 was like empty. They had like
I mean,
35
on that
mods,
side.
but yeah, there was nobody in the crowd. There was empty. I know the weather was kind of iffy that day, and I don't remember how the last two nights were because I didn't go to those. But I know at 141 it was empty crowd there. So I think it just kind of depends on like location and like
Location. I mean, they are a bit more of a regional thing. I mean,
yeah,
hence just because of, well, by their very nature, we have very regional like sanctions, and everyone runs their sanction, and they're not super crossoverable. I mean, there's some effort being made to on some level to have them more crossoverable, but they're like an IMCA mod's not going to run with a UMP or a USRA or even really a WISSOTA mod. They're just not. But they put on hella good racing, and they're still mods, and so like that's a whole region of the country that we don't have contributing to the potential pool, if that makes
and
any
that's
sense
like
on
the
what I'm
biggest
saying.
kind of sanction too
Yeah, yeah,
for
right.
mods.
Yeah. And so like it is tough. It's tough when there's this huge pool of mods, but they don't like I don't know, we're talking about Murdy. He was in an IMCA mod stock car, and then you know what I mean? Like I thought at one point I thought he was gonna be racing USMTS. I really did. Like he was doing some stuff
Now all the
with
IMCA
Harrison.
are IMCA guys are
Yeah,
going to late models instead. They're just skipping
yeah,
the USMTS part.
yeah,
Which a
yeah.
few years
We've talked
ago
about it.
they were that was like the next step was USMTS like Dylan Thornton and stuff, and now they're all just said screw it, late models, straight to late
Yeah.
models.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's correlated or not, but I think they had like something like maybe 9 guys follow the tour full time this year. And I mean, in years past, they've had considerably bigger numbers. And it's not like their schedule's super unbearable. I mean, it's like once a weekend or one weekend a month or something. So it's not like that's overly onerous. So there's something amiss. There's something amiss, right? I think we talked a little bit about that. I don't mean to put him down. I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna celebrate next week when Rodney Sanders wins, as I suspect, or Tanner Mullen pulls off one hell of a comeback. I'll be equally pumped about it, but I might be the only one. I mean, I remember years ago, Dirt Tracker used to talk about USMTS mods, like he was trying to talk about them, and just he just eventually stopped off, and I think I message him off to the side or something and just been like, I don't get it. And he's like, I don't either. It's like, this is sort of the top level modified tour out there. And like, they have no presence. They have, like, they don't even like have a presence to like, so to your point, they don't draw out in your area. It has to be that USMTS, the big bad modifieds are there. That's how you draw them, right? If you don't have a name that these people are going to associate, then you have a cool ass product, and they don't really have either right now. I mean, they
Yeah.
do have a cool ass product. They just don't tell anybody about it, and they don't. Yeah, they don't do a great job of selling it. So anyway, I think that's just me, frustrated fan venting. Thank you for listening, Carter.
And
But
there's other
anyway,
mod stuff too. Tri-Cities
there
got their
is.
it's it was a B mod show turned into like the reschedule of that Mod
Redo.
Mania that got rained
Yep.
out. So yeah, this was like supposed to be just a big B mod weekend, and then just a few weeks ago or whatever, whenever Mod Mania rained out, they kind of just added that onto it. Um,
Yeah.
I don't remember what it is. Probably the same
Yeah.
payout from what, like 3 and 5 or 2 and 3, something.
For the mods, it's 2 and 5, which I
Okay.
think were the 2 days that got canceled out of the other one. So that worked out perfect. And then B mods are 1,500, 3,000.
Okay. And this is a show that only reason I've been keeping track with it is just kind of the backup plan for Marshalltown, which it looks like we shouldn't need, but it's
Okay.
always good to have a backup option in case rain decides to come. So this was one looking for 2-day shows. This was one that we looked at. But yeah, hopefully I don't have to go there. Not that I don't want to. It's I've not that's the
Just
reason it's Plan B.
yeah, rather go to Plan A. I hear that for sure. That should be an interesting show. I did like Mars is all wrapped up, like the Mars Modified's
Yep.
all wrapped up and everything. So, you could see an interesting field show up to this, just because I think pe those guys are well, them UMP mods are always kind of scattered, and there may be other. You're going to tell us in a minute about a big, huge show we missed last week, so we're not ruling out that we're missing something. I'm intrigued. This could be a fairly large field of hitters. I think, if it's assuming I'm not missing
Yeah.
something. I think, they got places. That'd be a good place to be. On the late model front, one tour's done. The other one doesn't race for like 2 or 3 more
Yeah.
weeks.
Other
Like,
tours got just Outlaws just got World Finals
yeah,
left in
yeah. It's like I
November.
think
So
3 weeks. I think still
uh
2 or 3.
not this weekend, not the weekend after, but the one after that. So like
Yeah,
3.
so 3 weeks. Yeah, that's crazy. So, uh, there's some scattered regional shows. There's one up in Pennsylvania. Bedford has 25,000 to win. That's that Fall Clash series that we had mentioned a few weeks back. Uh, I haven't done much more digging, but I do notice they have a lot of big paying shows, so they're doing something cool up there. I'll take them at that. And then the Fall Classic at Why Not is this weekend too. Um, I
And
think you like this race.
yeah, this is a race that for some reason I've wanted to go to. I like Why Not looks cool to me, and they have a few shows down there that I want to go to. I think they have a street stock one too, in September, August.
Oh yeah, they
They get a
do.
ton of street
Yeah,
stocks
yeah,
for. But yeah, this
yeah.
is one too that they just get a lot of cars, and I'm a sucker for a big car count. And like
Yeah.
Tyler Erb goes to this, Winger goes to this. I think they actually had a really good race last year,
They
if I
did.
remember
They
right.
did. Yep.
Um, Spencer Hughes usually is at this, so they get a few bigger names and just a lot of cars. I did look at this as a backup plan, a little bit out of my range. Um, if we had Thursday off too, it's a possibility, but not. We
Maybe.
just got Friday off, so
Yeah. No, I think that'll be a cool show. I think I've heard about this show. So like I've talked about my, watching race YouTubers before, but I think I know about this show, one from Chase Holland and two from I think Hunt the Front has been
yep.
there too. I think Hunt
I
the Front was there one time when they did the street stock one and they like took till some absurdly late hour to run the great late model show or something. And I was like, that sounds like a miserable. But like that'd be as a driver. As a fan, I'm getting like wall to wall race. So, you know, different perspectives. That's what I'm starting to learn as we do the show more, is like your perspective dictates how you look at this stuff. So it's cool to bounce around. Anyway, I'm ranting and raving. We've been talking a while. Anyway, with that, that is everything we plan to cover, which means, Carter, it's time for
The one for the road, and mine is something that probably shouldn't have been a one for the road, but we missed it. What was it? Fall Nationals? Is that the name?
Fall Classic.
Fall Classic at Vado. 20,000 to win for 20,000, right? Was it that much?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
20,000. Yeah.
20,000 to win for USRA mods at Vado. And somehow we missed it.
We
Um,
totally missed it.
yeah, I remember. I think I texted you like the
No,
day or
you're
two
right.
later.
Fall Nationals.
Fall
I'm
Nationals.
sorry.
Yeah,
Yes.
I texted you like a day or two later. Like I think we missed a 20,000 to win mod race this weekend. But they had 40. It varied each day, but around 45-ish cars every day.
Yep.
And then I don't Thursday and Friday. I assume they played a factor into Saturday.
I
Um,
think so. I wouldn't
but
know for sure, but I
they
think they
had
did.
they had a feature Thursday, feature Friday. I don't remember what those paid. I don't know if you do.
I don't recall. No,
But
I
Dillard
didn't.
won the first one, Jake O'Neill won the second, and then Saturday was or Sunday actually was the 20K.
Sunday. Yep.
And Kate Dillard ended up winning that, and I guess he won. What was it? The announcer said something. You were watching it, I wasn't.
It was his fourth in a row. So this is his
Fourth in a
fourth
row.
consecutive Fall Nationals victory, which is kind of cool. But I do want to point out he won going away a little bit. Like Mullins made a charge, but on every restart he'd sort of break away, and he really did kind of dominate. Um, but they were pumped Cade Dillard was winning. I will tell you that. If like at one point I was getting updates on how many CDR cars were in the top five, um, which I always just felt super weird because Tanner Mullins and Jerry Phillips were running 2 and 3, and they both like are paired up and essentially run the same chassis too, you know? So like by the time the race was over, there was two CDR cars, two Mullen Bloodline cars, and then I don't remember who finished fifth, but like you'd have never known that. You would have never known that. And so, but anyway, my favorite part was is we are getting a breathless recounting of how Cade Dillard was dominating this race and going to win his fourth in a row, and how unbelievable and historic this was. And all the while, we're getting a camera shot of Stormy Scott in the backup Dillard car racing racing Talon Willis for like fifth.
Maybe they
And
thought he
I'm
was
just
the
like,
leader.
and the whole time I'm like, do you think the cameraman knows that's the backup car? Anyway,
I would judge, but if he's a newer camera guy, I could get it because I did that once at Cedar Lake following a lap car. Like the
yeah,
first years, I was like, I don't know any of these guys. I was like, I lost the leader. Hopefully, it's this one.
yeah. So because I know you're kind of feeling the need to defend your fellow cameraman, I want to be clear. I don't think I wasn't taking a shot at the cameraman necessarily. Like, does he know or doesn't he know? It was the race, right? It
Oh,
was
was it?
the
There was
best
nothing
battle.
else. Okay,
That
then
was the
I
best
might have been
one.
on that too. Then
Yep, yep. And it just so happened that it was Stormy Scott in Cade Dillard's backup car. But so in my head, I'm like, I get why he's filming this because this is the race. This is where
yeah,
he should be. But I'm like, I wonder if he knows. So I wanted to clear the air because yes, that was the correct
that
place to have the
probably
camera.
then is probably why it was there. I will say when there's two cars that look the exact same, it does suck sometimes for the camera guy. If you like
They were
lose,
different colors.
oh, okay,
They were
that
different
helps then.
colors, but it's the red and white 97. Like
Yeah.
it's distinctive. The white one, I even was getting confused.
Honestly,
I'm like, no,
I
he's
would
in the red one.
I would think that one was probably the main one too. Just because
Yep, yep.
when you said K Dillard, I instantly think white and red. I don't think just all white.
Yeah, yeah. So he was in the red, mostly red with white numbers. That was the one
Okay,
Dillard
yep.
was in, and Stormy Scott was in the mostly white with like accents
More
of red and
yeah,
black.
that's what I
Yeah.
think of as that.
Yep, yep. Yeah. So yeah, it was interesting. But anyway, um, so I thought I think it's cool he won four in a row. I'll just leave it at that. I thought it was cool. He's super dominant. Also, I'm just Tangent City. So they started announcing people going to the Wild West Shootout. Have you caught wind of this yet? Um,
I've seen some like on
there's a
Facebook.
couple. Yep. But Dillard is the only mod guy announced. So he's going to be out there in a mod. And then like the captions like, does he bring the late model? I'm like,
One
I'm
mod
pretty
guy.
sure he does. Yeah, we got one mod guy so far. So, but anyway, that's not my one for the road. My one for the road is actually going to be like a call to be educated. So in doing research for this show, I look for certain things that fit kind of like the stuff Carter and I like to talk about and watch. And one thing is we have turned into Carter was, I'm turning more into, as I call them, Hornet fan. I think they put on some of the best races. But anyway, with that being said, I know that it's front wheel drive or sport compacts or wherever you are. And this folks I'm about to talk about are definitely not my version of Hornets. They are way meaner, way meaner. But I thought it was cool that the SCDRA has the compact clash at Beckley Motorsports Park this weekend, and they're racing for 10 grand, Carter. I don't even think this is their biggest race. I
It's
think they
not.
have bigger
Their
races.
biggest one is that one in February or January. It's at Screven. I watch it every year.
All the winter freeze.
Yeah, I think
Yep,
that's their
yep,
biggest race. It's like
yep,
20 or 25.
yeah. But like 10K Hornets. But like I genuinely want to know what, like we're not technical people, so take this with a grain of salt. But I just want to know kind of like what it is about them that they're able to have these big shows. They have multiple big shows. I know that they probably have another 10 somewhere along the line and maybe some fives and stuff. What is it about them that they can draw cars? They're all over the place over there on the east/south. Like what? Tell me what makes them fast. Tell me why they're so awesome. Like, just educate us, please. I want to learn more about these because I want to be able to follow more about it. And I just feel like sometimes crowdsourcing to our fans in the internet is going to get me to the good stuff faster. So if y'all can help us, we would gladly learn more about this and probably talk about it more because front wheel cars can put on a hell of a show on a
Yeah,
dirt
the
track.
only thing
That's
I
all
know
I'm
about
saying.
them is like their bodies are way different. Like they're like different cars that they run than
They
ours.
mostly have hatchbacks,
Yeah.
right? Like, yep, which
But
I
I don't
think is
know
visually cooler too. But
I don't know anything about like the motor they got, but whatever they got is faster than ours. Because
yeah,
I saw like 6 of them at Talladega, and they were the best race of the night. There only like there's like 6 to 10 that showed up, and they had by far the best race that night.
yeah. See, I need to find more about this. Like, I admit I'm later than I should be to my Hornet fandom, but I'm a rider with these guys, man. They put on some of the best shows night after night. And so again, I get these are different, but they're similar enough, and I dig this. So I want to learn more. So if anyone wants to help us, much appreciated. But anyway, with that, Carter, I think that's even that.
Yep.
All right. Oof. Well, I'm out of breath, believe it or not. Anyway, thanks everyone. If you're still here, much appreciated. Hit the like. Catch you next week. You're the best.
See you later.